Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers, the Justice Department running amok. Andy has the rundown.
Sam, word out of Las Vegas is that the FBI has used the Patriot Act not against terrorists, but against citizens. We'll talk to John L. Smith, columnist for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, get the lowdown on that and the Ghilardi investigation. And then we talk to Don Henderson, the new head of the Department of Agriculture. Did you know they oversee gasoline? Sam?
And don't forget marijuana, Andy. Coming up on the Pundit panel today, Chris Wicker, Harry York, and the return of Jim Denton. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you.
The biggest risk your company can take.
Well, Barbara, you did very well on your interview.
Hiring employees can help your business get to the next level.
And your resume looks outstanding.
And it can also expose you to corporate crimes and costly lawsuits that can bring your company to its knees.
So, we'd like to offer you a position.
Before you hire another employee, hire the professionals at Employer Links. Call today to get our free CD-ROM, The Top 8 Risk of Hiring Employees.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're joined by telephone by John L. Smith of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, our favorite columnist, at least my favorite columnist.
And mine.
And whose current book is on the life and times of Oscar Goodman, available at all good bookstores. John, my wife came storming into the bathroom this morning with a copy of the local paper that was talking about the Patriot Act and how it had been used in the Ghilardi case, and she was incensed. What's your response to what's been going on?
Absolutely. It's a very troubling development, a fascinating development in our public corruption case down here. The Ghilardi case, for those who aren't that familiar with it, entails payoffs being made to current and former members of the county commission and city council. We've got one county commissioner, ex-county commissioner Aaron Kenny, has already entered into a secret plea and is now convicted. We've got Michael Ghilardi, the owner of the topless clubs, who has cut his deal with the government. We've got 30 months of wiretaps, 70,000+ conversations. And now we've got the employment at the 11th hour of an aspect of the Patriot Act in pursuit of financial documentation information on some of these suspects. Apparently, the FBI used the Patriot Act to speed the process to collect document information. which a lot of civil libertarians, as they're finding out about this, are of course very troubled by, because they're at least theoretically bypassing the usual process of going through a judge and obtaining subpoenas and things like that.
And John, this was actually confirmed by somebody with the FBI, wasn't it?
Yes, that's correct. Confirmed with FBI, and in our article this morning, also confirmed through the Justice Department. A Justice Department spokesman mentioned it, and has admitted that this has not occurred before. Which, there are reasons for using it, are arguments to be made on that side. But the other side of the coin, of course, is that there are already laws on the books that apply. There's a process to be applied when you go and pursue information and evidence in a federal case, and if they've bypassed the usual process, I personally have no confidence that they needed to do this. I think this smells like a test case because it involves a real kind of malodorous investigation of potentially dirty politicians and a topless bar guy, and there's a sleaze factor here. So clearly the public is not going to be all that incensed if someone presses the envelope. And so it definitely looks like a test case at this point, and it causes me to be incensed on a personal level.
Okay, now John, doesn't this also flip this into being a national story? Because isn't the ACLU going to go after the Justice Department on this?
Absolutely, Sam. I mean, this invites, as I mentioned in my column this morning, the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers has already been contacted. They've already agreed to be a friend of the court in the litigation that's coming as we speak. The ACLU national office and our local office, which is headed by Gary Peck, they've been very focused on this from the very start. Patriot Act, they have been going on a daily basis, tit for tat with Attorney General Ashcroft. So I mean, it's an interesting fight that's going on. It's not one, unfortunately, that the average American seems to give a hoot about, but that doesn't.
I don't know. If you go
fight.
by my wife's opinion this morning, I think you're going to find the average American is going to get incensed.
And actually, the Patriot Act has been opposed by not just the ACLU, who a lot of people consider to be ultra-liberal, but it's also been opposed by the American Independent Party and a lot of conservative Republicans who are worried about having their civil rights eclipsed by this act.
I think it's I agree with you, and I think it's one of the first and only times in recent memory where you see such diverse groups agree on anything. These are people who are from the right of right to the left of left, and both sides seem to agree. And it's even reverberating in Congress now, where it really hadn't before, because immediately after 9/11, the politicians, in Washington were inclined to go along with the Bush administration in some of its pursuit of terrorism.
I want to go back to the Las Vegas corruption scandals. In your column today, you talked about a war going on between the feds down in San Diego and down in Las Vegas, and an unholy deal-making going on. Just fill us in briefly on that, if you would.
Sure. There is, because this case is more or less two-pronged, understand that there is a public corruption case that's well underway in San Diego that includes Ghilardi, includes 3 members of the San Diego City Council, plus some ancillary players, one of them being former Commissioner Lance Malone of Clark County. That's going on right now. They've reached and passed a deadline for indictment in that case. They have to start releasing discovery material, discovery being wiretap information and other material like that will give the defense a chance to defend itself. Because of that deadline has been passed, we're also coming up on deadlines in the Las Vegas case. They have to come forward if in a reasonable amount of time. They're going to have to come forward and have their indictment, because if they don't, the discovery is going to be coming out of San Diego anyway, and the defense in Las Vegas will be able to request that. Now that's one element of the case. It's caused a split and a lot of argument behind the scenes between San Diego prosecutors and Las Vegas prosecutors. Another element to this case, which is fascinating to me, is In debriefing of Mike Ghilardi, as he agreed to be debriefed by the FBI and Justice Department in this case when he was cutting his deal, he said that a Las Vegas prosecutor had frequented his place of business. He also accused local FBI agents of being patrons at his business, including one individual agent who actually apparently got to borrow his car. So there's
amazing, John.
There are questions of ethics here that whether they pan out fully or merely are raised and perhaps not fully proven. These are the kinds of things that complicate a case when you're talking about something that's been going on now for 3 years with voluminous wiretap. It's the kind of complexity that makes a case drag on and on
and makes for a good book. John, we're out of time. Always a pleasure.
Wow.
We'll have you back here. Folks, you want to get more information on this, read John L. Smith's column in today's Las Vegas Review Journal. You can get it online or you can go and buy the paper. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world-famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square used the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Seekh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
Back on Nevada Newsmakers, we welcome Don Henderson. He's the director of the Nevada Department of Agriculture, Nevada's 3rd largest industry, correct?
That is correct, Sam. Thank you.
I was astounded, Don, when talking to you the other day at the scope of the Department of Agriculture. I thought, you guys did plants and farming, and that kind of thing. But you even go in and look at the gasoline and gas stations?
We do. The mission of Department of Agriculture is to encourage the advance and protect Nevada agriculture and related industries. And related industries include petroleum and our green industries, which is horticulture, nurseries, and pest control operators. And one of the scope of the department is broad. We kind of evolved with industry here in Nevada, and one of the things we do is that we're responsible for testing the accuracy of all measuring devices that are used in commerce in the state. And so we go out and we test whether it be a grocery scale, a truck scale, a livestock scale. We'll go out and test it and certify that they're accurate. And along with that, one of the authorities of the State Department, the Board of Agriculture, is to set petroleum standards in the state as to the petroleum we sell in the state, the quality they must meet. We set those standards, and as we go out and we test gasoline pumps for their accuracy, we collect a sample, we bring them back to our laboratory here in Reno and Las Vegas, and we'll test to see if they are meeting those standards.
So if somebody thinks that the gas station that they go to isn't giving them good gas, they should call you?
They should call the Nevada Department of Agriculture.
Let me ask you about the health of agriculture in the Silver State. How are we doing? How are our ranchers and farmers doing?
Well, it's up and down. This year it's a good year. The majority of our receipts, it's about 70% of the receipts of agriculture is livestock and hay. And livestock prices are high right now. So it's a good year for livestock, not so good for hay. It's up and down. We're stable. I think if you look at our gross receipts and our production, it's been stable. Even though we're in a drought situation, Nevada's grown up around drought. We know how to handle it, and our agriculture's adapted to it.
Now, let's talk about marijuana for a second. I know you're responsible for noxious weeds, I believe is the term. Do you consider marijuana a noxious weed?
No, I can't say one way or the other. What I can tell you,
You're in charge of the medical marijuana
yes,
program.
Yes, we are. The 99 legislature, as a result of 2 propositions passed by the state voters, passed the medical marijuana law, which basically gives the Department of Agriculture the authority to register people who have certain medical conditions, such as glaucoma, AIDS, and so forth. And we register them. They get an ID card, looks just like a Nevada state driver's license, and they hang on to that card, and that card allows them up to 1 ounce of marijuana in their possession and growing up to 7 plants for the production of marijuana. And with that card, they are not susceptible to state prosecution for having possession of medical marijuana.
How many people are registered at this point?
About 320 was the last I heard, about 3 weeks ago.
Do you think it's crazy that that people are allowed to be able to have up to 1 ounce of marijuana, but it's illegal for them to purchase it? Or purchase the seeds to be able to grow the plants that they're legally allowed to have?
The problem is a difference between state law and federal law. And it's against the federal law to possess medical marijuana. And one of the problems we have, and one of the reasons why in 99, the Department of Agriculture got involved with this program was the thought for the department to actually grow the medical marijuana and distribute it. Because of the federal laws, that was found not to be practical, and during the session it was modified to a registration process. We cannot advise Nevada residents to break a federal law. So they're left to their own devices of how they acquire their seed, how they acquire their medical marijuana. We just register them, which prevents them from state prosecution.
But other than that, so it's like don't tell,
don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell.
I guess you could say that.
Okay, but for those people at least, they have some form of protection, at least on the state level.
Yes, I think one of the gratifying things, I was a little nervous getting involved with the medical marijuana program because it's so different than what else we do in the department. But when we went out to do the public hearings to establish regulations in this law, it was gratifying to see some of the people, how appreciative they were of the state moving ahead on this. And so that was gratifying.
We forget that there are a lot of people that are in pain and have other ailments.
I don't forget at all. It's ridiculous that we don't have a system set up nationally to be able to take care of this problem. If you're dying, you should be able to do whatever you want to be able to get yourself into a position where you are feeling less pain. We do it with legal drugs. This drug is illegal and it shouldn't be. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers. I guess that was commentary. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Don.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowd family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, a great panel as always here. We have Harry York with us from the Chamber, Jim Denton with Denton & Associates, and from the Washoe County Democratic Party, the Chairman, Chris Wicker. Pleasure to have you all here. Let's start off with this Patriot Act. Anybody incensed?
I am totally incensed, and I've been incensed since it was passed. And I'm even more incensed that they want to put in a harsher, and Ashcroft would call it new and improved version. Everybody else would say a further intrusion on our constitutional rights. And what John Smith was saying earlier in your program, how the FBI has utilized it in a regular criminal probe, gives the lie to what Ashcroft says is that, oh, don't worry about it because we won't abuse it. Trust it, we won't abuse it. And it's nothing against the police department, but we know the police will always use the tools available to them.
You know, Chris, though, I think you've got to look at it from another perspective. I mean, are there problems with the Patriot Act? Obviously, there are some genuine concerns. But I think you also have to look at it from the fact that this world has changed since 9/11. And there are some things that you have to do when the world changes.
Like trash the Constitution?
Well, I don't know that the Patriot Act trashes the Constitution. I mean, I think there are some legitimate reasons and some legitimate concerns out there. Terrorism is a legitimate concern.
Well, as far as I know, unreasonable searches and seizures are still in the Constitution.
Let Harry jump in here. Harry?
Well, I would agree with Senator Reid's statement that he came out with yesterday, and I think was in the paper this morning, that it's an abuse of it, what they've done in Las Vegas. They have plenty of tools to work with whatever was happening down there. They don't need to use a terrorism act, anti-terrorism
And how many
act.
strip club owners in the past have been terrorists? Do we have a count on that?
Well, I was just nobody can answer. Nobody wants to answer that one.
But I don't see too many naked terrorists. Let me put it that way.
Now, maybe the terrorists hung out in those organizations when they were in Las Vegas before 9/11.
But that was the same group. That was Ashcroft's department, the Justice Department, and FBI that he said, we won't abuse it.
So shouldn't Ashcroft come out and publicly and apologize?
I think he should resign. But I've thought that way before this.
Yeah, but you,
you
probably weren't happy with the election results in Kentucky and Mississippi yesterday either.
Well, that's a low blow, Jim.
I noticed one thing that the election had in common yesterday was no Democrats won. Okay.
Well, you forgot Philadelphia.
Well, that's the mayor of Philadelphia.
Pennsylvania, probably.
There are 7 Republicans in the city of Philadelphia. Okay. But you know, the fact of the matter is, this world and some of the policies that we've had, by necessity, whether it's airport security or whether it's national security, have changed since 9/11. I mean, the fact of the matter is that there are terrorists out there that wish to attack this country. That is a fact. That is not conjecture. That is not some spin that John Ashcroft has put out. That is a fact.
Well, what we found in the investigation into 9/11 is that there was a lot of tools available to this country that were not used for various reasons. Lack of coordination, lack of communication.
You know what?
A lot
you
of
can
tools
always
that
say
were not
that.
used.
You can always say that in hindsight. I mean, if you look at the investigation that was done after Pearl Harbor, they said essentially the same thing. There was a lot of information that was available that you didn't have one department talking to another department. So these things are a lot easier to decipher in hindsight.
Jim? Do you draw the line somewhere?
Yeah, you have to draw the line somewhere.
So where is it?
You know, I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know.
I think it's time they drew it, and I think getting rid of the Patriot Act might be the answer. But I want to
modifying it.
Yeah, I want to change the
it.
subject briefly. There was an article in the Las Vegas Review-Journal this morning about how small businesses are saying they do not mind the higher taxes, but the idea that you could get a credit against those taxes with the health care you provide to your employees is useless for them, because some businesses are paying like $145 in taxes. Health care would cost them $500 or $600.
And you know, this is going to be one of the biggest issues in the election next year, I predict, is going to be the cost of health care for consumers in this state.
Well, it's going to be nationwide.
And nationwide, probably.
I mean, we're just part of that.
the cost of health care, the amount of dollars that you are paying for benefits and the number of benefits that you are getting keep going down while the price keeps going up. That is going to be one of the major issues in this election in the state.
And one of the things we need to look at, all of us as business lobbyists and participate in the legislative process, we can't let legislators keep adding mandates to what's required when you go get insurance. Those should all be options. It's another $10 if you add that, it's another $15. Let you make that choice. Instead of adding, you have to take care of everybody's mental health and abuse health and all these kind of things that we keep adding to that adds to the cost.
The problem with that is that if the legislature didn't mandate some things, employers would offer no things.
But
okay?
we definitely have to.
I do not believe that.
We have to watch out for the health of business. That's the base of prosperity. So
and that's where we have to leave it. Let's watch out for the health of business. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers. Boy, we always got so much to put in there.
Lori Ann and the staff of St. Ives Florist invite you to a very special occasion. On Saturday, November 15th, you won't want to miss our 12th annual holiday open house and design preview from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The St. Ives family would love to share our magical wonderland with you and your family. St. Ives Florist, simply the finest, hopes your holidays are simply the warmest.
And I look forward to seeing you Saturday, November 15th at our holiday open house.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world-famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
And tomorrow we have Mary Bell Batcher. You know, Friday's her last day working for the governor. We'll talk to her tomorrow.
And she's going to be heading off to join Alderman Schwarzenegger as his chief of staff.
Yes.
So that will be very interesting of how that's going to interact with the Silver State.
Certainly. And then we're going to talk to Bruce Breslow about the sports stadium.
A lot coming up. We'll see you next time on Nevada Newsmakers.
Thank you for watching.